cars. Okay, as we take a look at the next car, 1965 Shelby Factory Stage 3 Dragon Snake Cobra.
Yep, one of only 5 factory-built 289 Cobra Dragon Snakes. The Cobra build not necessarily particularly known for racing success on the drag strips. It was all about the road courses, but they were on the drag strips and they were fast. And
yes,
this is the fact that this car survived. It's been restored to authentic. Glad it's here, man.
Yeah. Just as soon as the Cobras hit the drag strip, they demolished the A Sports record books. Just about every single Cobra out there that was being raced, not only Dragon Snakes, but small block Cobras that were converted to drag racers, were out there and just creaming everything. And this car is a Stage 3 289 with the Weber carburetors. That was a race-prepped engine right from Shelby. And, you know, not only this car, but we've had Bruce Larson's Dragon Snake. That car was a record holder as well.
So the legend of the original Shelby Cobras in a variety of race prep or street use, small blocks, big blocks, everything in between, continue to be, number one, very expensive, but so sought after by collectors.
Yeah. And let me just say that when these cars raced, they didn't look this perfect. Right. Those aluminum bodies were so fragile, and guys would be changing engines and changing components and banging into them and knocking them around. And
they were just lucky to get them put back together.
Yeah. No, this is kind of fun to see one without all those blemishes on it.
$1,250,000 a bid. $1,000,003. Ryan, your man's out. $1,250,000.
So $1,250,000 is that going to be enough? They're taking a little bit of extra time to see if get this deal put together. A world-class collector, Stephen Giuliano. We were all familiar with his collection from Indianapolis. And a fellow named Dave Riley restored this using NOS parts and original parts, including down to the tires. Yes, the tires are not reproduction. They're original vintage 1965 tires.
Yeah, those slicks on the rear are absolutely distinctive. And if you raced Aurora HO scale slot cars in the 60s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They had perfect reproductions for HO scale cars of those tires.
You know what the nickname of those slicks are?
Pie crust.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Yeah.
It was the same thing on the little HO. The little
perfect replications, little indentations on those tiny tires.
Hey, guys, the reserve is off.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, just thought I'd let you know. And the car sells $1.25 million for that 65 Dragon Snake. Wow. And as we take one more look at it and continue to look at this car, I've got breaking news. The 1961 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, that also sold for the exact same price. No surprise. So we have two cars now at $1.25 million, leading the way, top sellers overall to this point at Mecum Kissimmee.
Yeah, we knew that that Mercedes-Benz was not a dead deal.
Yes.
That's fun to see.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, 1955 Chevy Custom before we get to Gulf One, which is coming up next.
Well, a nice way to give us the appetizer here, because this is a high-end shoebox Chevy. 406 cubic inches, but no small block here. That's a big block platform with Edelbrock fuel injection and a Tremec TKO 600 5-speed manual transmission. And that engine compartment is flawless. 355 gears in the aftermarket Ford 9-inch rear end that's been heavily narrowed to accommodate those big tires. Full custom interior. I saw distressed leather. Looks fantastic. And those colors are PPG ruby red and matte bronze. How about that for contrast?
The gloss.
Matte bronze top is staggering.
Yep. That mixed with the gloss. Perfect.
It's going to sell. I'm going to predict it. It's too cool.
180. 190. Reserve is off.
It is going to sell, John. You are correct.
At 175, the consignor was shaking his head no, and then it hit to 180.
Yeah.
And he just smiled and shook his head yes. So they were only $5,000 apart. That gap got closed up.
Yeah.
And it's still going up a little bit. So good for him. Good for them. Got the whole family here enjoying the fun.
It's tough to come up with a new color combination that you don't see. It's easy to wow people with a proven color combination, but to come up with something that we haven't seen before is a remarkable achievement.
Great.
Now you watch. We're going to have shoebox Chevys with gloss and matte combined.
15 more of them.
The rest of the year, man. No, you're right. That's a very good point.
210. That's the way to do it.
Reserve came off at 180, right?
180 on the money. You got it.
250. That'd be smart bid. 200 pounds, another bid. 210. Then you're going to do 2. You're going to be 10. Did it? You done? 210. Then you're going to do 10, 10, 10. I had 210. Then you're going to do 2. Last call. I had 200,000. Then you're going to do 10.
Did George have
Just
205?
Just give 250.
George is just
Knock him
saying.
out. Be a big old boy. 250. Big old boy. 250. 250.
George's bidder is in at 200, I think.
220. 220. Gotta go. I had 220. Yes, sir. 220. 20. 220. All down. 220. Here we go. 220.
There's another bidder that's
10.
somewhere.
Last call. You want to give 10?
At 210.
205 pounds a dollar. 205 pounds a dollar. Chicken George.
You've been waiting on it, ladies
So
and
George's
gentlemen.
folks got it at 200. 205. Okay. 205.
We were confused as well, but it is 205.
Okay. I believe you.
Well, you're not going to believe this, folks. 1963 Corvette Z06, known around the world simply as Gulf One. Here it is.
The headline for this car is quite simple. The most successful factory-backed production racing Corvette of the C2 era. One of only 14 regular production Corvette serial numbers that were assigned specifically for competition. All had the fuel-injected 360 horsepower 327. But Bill, this one, this 63 Z06 Gulf One, the holy grail of Z06s.
Gulf One, and the 1 is the operative number. You know, my first trip to Kissimmee was 2010. That was the year that this car was sold for the last time. After the auction, I'm at the airport, and a fellow sees me and says, "Hey, how was the auction?" I said, "It was pretty good." I said, "Did you enjoy it?" He says, "Yes, I bought the Gulf One Corvette." It was John Justo, and we've been friends ever since.
Well, another one for you. This is the first. You talked about the production cars that were delivered for racing. This is the first of 2 that went to Yanko Chevrolet.
Well, and a famous legendary driver nicknamed the Flying Dennis. That would be Dr. Dick Thompson. He was the pilot of this car back in the day, and he had already established himself as being one of the top road racers in the country, in addition to being a dentist.
SCCA regional champ in California, national champ. If you want your Corvette to win, he's a guy you want to put behind the wheel.
1,000,007, you're out. 1,000,008, 1,000,007, 1,800,000. I am 1,007, 1,008. Here it is. 1,007, 1,008, 1,008, 1,009, 1,009.
The Yanko Chevrolet connection, where it was delivered out of, certainly adds to the provenance of this car. The most legendary Chevrolet performance dealer ever.
Third overall, 24 hours at Daytona, class winner, and was all ready to go to Le Mans, but GM pulled the plug in their racing program. Never had a chance.
We are at $2 million.
Boy, in retrospect, Bill, that seems like a terrible idea. You win that once, and it still advertises for you half a century later.
Yeah.
Good point.
And there is Frank Mecum with the consignor, John Justo. Mecum customer 11, another low,
Yes.
low number.
Steward of the industry on having pedigreed Corvettes. And he's been a yeoman at taking care of
$2.4 million.
Anything they've needed at all, he's taken care of and kept them pristine. This is the best one on the face of the planet. Help yourself.
Taking just a moment, everybody get a little breath. $2,400,000 the high bid, and they're talking it over, Bill.
It will sell based on my conversation with John earlier.
Goes $2,400,000. I negative $5. I had $2,400,000. Negative $5. I had $2,500,000. $2,500,000. I had $2,400,000. I negative $500,000. I had $2,400,000. Negative $5. Going to be $5. Hold down. $2,400,000. $2,500,000. You're out the back row. $2,500,000 and $500,000 and $400,000. Negative $5. Going to be now negative $40,000. $5. Hold down. I had $2,400,000. Now $5. Now $5. $2,400,000. $2,500,000. You're $500,000. Negative $2,500,000. Negative $5 and $2,500,000. Negative $2,400,000. You're $500,000. Negative $500,000. Hold through. Hold down. Let's call it a deal. We're close bid. We're going to work on that. We're close. Close bid, $2,400,000.
Well, Russ Conklin, our auctioneer, said we are close. Bill, it may happen still. Yes, exactly right. Stay tuned. We're back in a moment.
Factory-built race car known as the Race Rat. GT14 class winners in 12 hours to Sebring in 60. Dora Arcus. One of 10 1960 big tank production Corvettes. First in class in 1960 at the 12 hours to Sebring. Doesn't get no better than that. First in class, faithfully restored by Marquis Espers, 283, 4-speed manual. Here we go.
Negative 600 pounds out of bed. I am 100 pounds out of bed. 150. I have 150. Now 2. Down 2. Now 50. I am 200. Negative 50. Negative 225. I am 225. 50. Negative 75. I am 275. Negative 50. Negative 75. I am 275. Negative 50 to 75. I am 260, 70. I am 260, negative 70. I am 270, negative 260, 70, negative 70, 80. I am negative 280, 90, negative 93. I am 300, negative 10, negative 20. I am 320, negative 30, negative 50. I am 350. I am negative 60, negative 60. And now 70, negative 370. I am negative 370. I am 360, 370, sir. I am 360, negative 370. And 370, negative 360, 370. I am 370. I am negative 60, 70. I am 370 pounds of dollars. Anybody else? 360, 370 pounds of dollars. 360, 370, 370. I am 360, negative 370. And 370, 365. Your man's out. 370. 365 pounds at his bid. 370. Reserve is off. 365, 370 pounds on the bed. 365, 370. I had 365, 370. I had 365, 370 pounds of dollars. Anybody else? 365, 370. Sold 365 pounds of dollars. Sold 365 pounds of dollars. Sharp.
F-159 from the John Justo collection. 61 Corvette big brake tanker. GM factory prepped race car. Prepped for racing at Nichols Engineering in Highland, Indiana. Raced in the 61 SCCA competition. Triple Crown recipient. No reserve car fuel injected.
400, 300. I have 300, 200, 100,000 out of it. 125, and 125, 125, 50. I have 125, 150. I have 125, 150, 125, 150, 125, 150,000 out of it. Car sales at no reserve. 150, 120, 130. I have 30, 130. I have 120, going to be 130. I have 120, 130. I have 120, about 30, 40. I have 140. I have 130, 140,000 out of it. 130, 140. I have 130, going to be 40, 130, 140, 140, 140. I have 135, 140. Now 5, 145. 145, higher negative 145, 50, 155, 155, higher negative 5 of it, 155, higher negative 150, down that negative 5, 155. Just go right on there, sir. 155, thank you. Now you have here 160. 155, 160. I have 150 pound, negative 60. 155, higher negative 160. Yes, sir. Anybody else? Sold 155,000 dollars. Sold 155. Ryan.
F-159.1, 62 Corvette big brake tanker. GM factory production race car, fuel injected 327, 4-speed, 24-gallon fuel tank, removable hardtop, no reserve.
Everything.
John Justo collection.
3. I'm by the 3, 200. I am 100,000 out of it. 125, 125. Higher negative 125, 50, 150. I have 125. Higher negative 150, negative 125, 150. I have 125. Going to be 150, 125.
Welcome back to Mecum on MotorTrend. We're live at the Osceola Heritage Park Silver Spurs Arena. Scott Hoke, John Kraman, Bill Stevens, Stephen Cox, Katie Osborne, and Chris Jacobs, and this 1962 Corvette, part of the John Justo collection, selling at no reserve here. JK, we're at $160 right now.
Late 1950s, early 1960s, the Corvette was developing a reputation for performance, both for the street, maybe even more importantly, on the racetrack. This is a factory-produced race car, 360 horsepower, 327 cubic inch V8. In its debut year, 1962, it's got the big brakes. It's got the big 24-gallon fuel tank, one of only 65 of those that were built, 411 gears, 4-speed transmission, no convertible top below that removable hardtop. That's to save weight. And I love that kind of period racing decor on there, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Well, that flying dentist, Dr. Dick Thompson, he ran a few billion races in a 62 big brake, big tank car like this. And so did old Bob Bondurant. He was out there running in these cars then.
Well, there it is, $150,000 for the big brake tanker. We need to take a quick time out here. We'll return to Kissimmee in a moment.
At 100 to bid. 125. Higher negative 125. 50. I have 125. 50. 75. I have 175. Higher negative 1. Now 2. Now 2. Now 2. Now 25. Higher negative 225. I have 200 negative 25 to bid. I have 200,000 negative 25 to bid. 50. I have 250. 225. 250. Your man's out. I have 220. 50. 75. Higher negative 250. 75. And 250 negative 75 to bid. I have 250. Negative 275. 260, 270 to you, sir. Now 280. Now 280, you're out. 270, 280, 280, 280, 270, 80, 90, 290, 290, gonna be 90, 290, 300, 300,000 out of bed. Now 3, then you're gonna do 3 to bed. You're 3, then you're gonna do 300. I'm about to 3, 310, 310, 3, okay, 3 here, 310, 320, 320. 320, then I'm going to do 10, 20. I have 310, then I'm going to do 320. I am about to do 10, 20, 310, 320. And 20, then I'm going to do 310, 20, 30, 330, then I'm going to do 20, 30. I have 320, 30, then I'm going to do 330. You're out. 320, 330. On down to last call. I have 320, then I'm going to do 330. Going to be 330. 320's a bid. 330. 330. 320, 330. And by the minute, I'm going to do 30. 40. 340. 340. 340, Jamie. 330, 340. I have 330, bid. I'm going to do 340. I have 330. 340. On that 40. 330's a bid. 340. 340. We're good? Let's go. 340. And it is. 335's a bid. 340 to you. 335, 340, 335. I'm going to do 40 bid. 335. I'm about to do 340 bid. I'm going to do 40. I got 335, 340. Now 50. Now 350. Now 350. 340. Going to be 50, Jamie. 350. I'm about to do 340, 350, 350. Last call, and it is. Sold $340,000. Sold $340,000. Nick.
F161, a 31 Packard Custom 8 Roadster. Miles prior to restoration were logged at 62,000. The 78th Roadster built on a 140-inch wheelbase. Car has been restored with mostly original parts. 1977 AACA Hershey Fall Meat Senior Award. 2005 Eastern United States Concours d'Elegance.
Very good, like that. I'd get a bit of a cut of a custom 8 time. I'd get a bit of a 300-pound a bid. If it get paid, I'd get a bit of a cut of a 100,000 a bid. If one, I'd get a bit of a cut of a down. I'd get a bit of a cut of a bid. I'd get a bit of a cut of a bid. I'd get a bit of a cut of a 100,000 a bid. One here, 125. I want a bid. I'd get a bit.
We are back with our live coverage from Kissimmee on MotorTrend. Hey, even during the commercial breaks, we've got good stuff going on. In fact, about 40 seconds ago, we'll show you what happened on a 1967 GT500 Shelby JK. $340,000 the hammer price.
Yeah, look at the color combination. Incredible restoration. 428 cubic inches, 4-speed manual transmission, dash signed by Carroll Shelby himself.
And just a few minutes literally before that sold, we had a 1960 Corvette, a Race Rat, that's what they call it. Factory built GM race car, gaveled at $365.
Class winner at the 12 Hours of Sebring back in 1960. Fuel injected 283 and a 4-speed.
Oh man. And on the block right now, how about let's change directions a little bit, John, and talk about a pre-war classic and a 1931 Packard Custom 8.
Well, right in the heart of the Depression years, but that did not stop Packard from producing some of the most spectacular cars of the time period, and here is one of them. 385 cubic inches, 3-speed manual transmission.
170,000.
This car was restored. It's going to be hard to believe. And a little bit of patina on the seats, but this car was restored all the way back in 1975.
Wow.
And it has obviously been kept in spectacular condition. Shortly after restoration, it won about every award you could win, including the AACA National Meet. It earned a senior award, and it's just been beautifully preserved and kept all that time period.
Reserve is off. That is remarkable. 1975, John, that's, as far as the restoration goes, that's long before restorations were a thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Somebody had the foresight to do that instead of just leave it to rust. Wow. So cool.
$165,000 to a very happy pair of new owners.
So with that gavel, we will take a quick timeout and return with more from Kissimmee after the break.
bid. 50,000 on the bid. Out of the bid of a be so 50 and 50 and out of it 30 down 40 50 60 and 50 here down 16 down out of it 60 here and 70 bid and 70 bid 80 pound bid and 80 here and out of it 70 pound bid out of it down out of it bid of it 90 bid of it 90 down one down and one bid out of it bid of it 90 bid 100 pound bid and 90 down out of it bid of it 90 bid 100,000 down it one out of it bid of it out of it bid of it 90 bid of one and one bid out of it 10 out of it trap out of it 10 bid it wants to break out of it bid of it 10 bid it's 10 out of it bid of it 1 champ out of it bid of it 10 wants to break 110,000 bid 110 into it is solid there not getting any bit of no reserve automobile not getting any bit of 10 it's 10 not getting any bit of 110,000 it one bid not getting any bit of 10 pause you want to play at 110 not getting any bit of not getting any bit of last call 110 and not getting any bit of 10 not getting any bit of not getting any bit of 110,000. You get 110, and not getting any bit of a chance. You want to get 110, not getting any bit of a 10, 110, and one bid, not getting any bit of a 10, 110. Sold 100,000, sold 100,000 on Spring Sway.
F-163 from the Justo collection of 69 Firebird. Recent cosmetic restoration, documented with the broadcast sheet, Matador red with black interior, 400 automatic transmission, factory air, hood mounted tack, no reserve.
No reserve, Firebird time here, not getting any bit of a 75, and 75, not getting a 25, 30, and 25, 30, not getting any 30, getting any bit of a 5, getting a 40, getting any bit of a 40,000 a bid, and not getting any bit of a 40,000 here. Hear me right, folks, 40,000 is all. At 40,000 here, 35, 40, at 40,000, no reserve, not getting any bit of 40,000, at 35, getting any bit of 45, 5, not getting about 50, and down 50, Paul's way, not getting about 50, and 45, 50, not getting any bit of 50, getting about 45, 55, and 55 here, at 55,000 a bid, not getting any bit of 5, 55 pound a bid, at 5, getting any bit of 5, 55 pound a bid, and down 5, getting any bit of 5, 55,000, and now you sell, not getting about 55, at 50 bid, not getting any bit of 5, not getting any last call, y'all 5, at 5, getting any bit of a Z-Don, not getting a 5, 55 pound bid, and not getting any bit of a can't tell, not getting any bit of a 5, 55 bid, and which one you got, not getting any bit of a young Gus, and not getting a 50, getting any bit of a 5, and it is sold 50,000, sold $50,000, Gus on the telephone.
F-164, 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, big brake airbox. Factory big brake airbox Corvette SCCA racer between 57 and 59. Raced at Sebring, Daytona International, and Lime Rock. Known ownership history for over 50 years. Fresh airbox intake, 1 of 44 produced. Wide wheel option, fuel injected, 4-speed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Corvette time here down. Not getting any bit of a 600 pound bid, and not getting any bit of a 6 here. Not getting any bit of a 500,000 under down. Not getting any bit of a 5 here. Give 100,000 a bid, and not getting any bit of a 2, and not getting any bit of a 150. Not getting a 2 here. Not getting any bit of a 2 here. 2 down half, and a half here. Not getting any bit of a 250,000 or down 2 to bid. Down half. It's 250. It's 2. Not getting any bit of a 5 here. Not getting any bit of a 200,000 or getting a 5 here. Not getting a 5 here. 250 bid. It 2's the bid. And a bit of here. Big out. Get a bit of 50. Not getting 250, 300 pound a bid, hit 3 down, not get any bit of a 3 bid, and a 3, not get any bit of a 3, not get any bit of a 375, 3 bid, and a 3 down, 3, George got a bid, 3, not get any bit of a 3 bid, 25 here, hit 3 to bid, 325, and 3 down, 25, not get any bit of a as you wanted, not get a 325,000 a bid, hit 3 down, not get any bit of a 25, hit 3, not get any bit of a 25.
We're back in Kissimmee live on MotorTrend, and a 1957 Corvette is bringing the money, JK. $350,000 on this big brake airbox car.
Yeah, well, this is a big car, Scott. 1957, most Corvette enthusiasts will agree. That was really the turning point for the performance image, and it's cars just like this one is what helped turn the tide.
Yep.
283 cubic inches, 283 horsepower was a rating of the fuel-injected V8 in the debut year. It's a 4-speed. This car raced SCCA between 1957 and 1959. A lot of legendary tracks, including Sebring, Daytona, and Lime Rock. $400,000 the high bid.
And let's go to Bill Stevens.
Oh, this is coming up a little bit later on. You're not going to want to miss this 1955 Nomad. Best of everything. We'll start with the paint. This is called Tangelo Pearl from the House of Color. Up front here, we've got a 6.2-liter crate engine with 525 horsepower, restitched interior, all riding on an Art Morrison chassis and Foose wheels. This is going to be one of the stars of the show coming up a little bit later on.
All right, Bill, thank you very much from out there in the staging lane. We'll have that car plus many, many more as we roll on live from Kissimmee. You're watching Mecum Kissimmee live on MotorTrend, and our coverage continues on the exclusive home of Mecum Auctions. Hang on to your hats, car crazies. You have arrived at Mecum Kissimmee 2022 as we roll on with our live coverage here on MotorTrend. And another big Corvette on the block. 1965 Corvette has just gabbled for $230,000. Professor John Kraman.
LS2, 6 liters of contemporary General Motors power, 4L60E automatic Art Morrison chassis with C5 Corvette suspension components, vintage air, and a perfect presentation. Don't forget those 6 taillights.
Nice.
Love that touch.
Yep. And that will put a wrap on the John Justo collection that we've been documenting for a little while now, and all told in excess of $1.5 million. Here's a 1958 Corvette.
Well, that flat air cleaner tells us it's not a fuel-injected Corvette, but hey, not too far off the mark. That's the hot dual quad, 270 horsepower, 283, a high lift cam with solid lifters, T10, 4-speed manual transmission, the off-road exhaust, Bloomington Gold certified, Zora Arcus Duntop Mark of Excellence, Triple Crown recipient. That is the top of the heap in the judging standards. $250,000, Bill. $260,000 now for a non-fuel injected 58 Corvette. We've been talking about that today. The prices of Corvettes are extraordinary.
I would have been shocked if we had one. How many have we had?
Oh,
These C1s are suddenly the gold standard here in Kissimmee.
right.
Somebody else likes it. Beautiful car.
We're going to get the 300,000 right there with Jordan Hunter. Yes. 300,000.
Last call.
Last call, last train. And I'm going to 310 pound. I'm going to take it over 310. Sold $300,000 Jordan Hunter.
Congratulations.
I can remember when 1958 Corvettes were like Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. Boy, has that changed.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No kidding. Man, if somebody fell asleep like 4 days ago and hadn't woke up in a while, they wake up Sunday, they're going to go, what? Wow. $300,000 for that Corvette. Well, let's go back to a very early 1965 Porsche 911 and see what's going on. Of course, these came on the scene the model year prior to that, I believe in 64. They overlapped with the 356s. And so this is some Porsche history here, JK.
First year of production, 1965, kind of like the Mustang, where the 64.5s were titled as 1965s. And I think that's going to appeal to the collectors here. 148 horsepower was the rating of that 2-liter flat 6-cylinder engine. It's a 4-speed. And once again, the astonishment of this auction. You ready for this, everybody? It's original. It is not restored.
I just took a look at the interior of that Porsche, and it has some what I would call beautiful patina on it, which is clearly being appreciated at over $100,000 bid.
Yeah.
It is original, it looks it, and it is gorgeous.
Good. You know, I'd spot it like you. A couple of dings here and there on the paint, not a problem. That's okay. And at this point, it's going to be a little bit more, going to need to be a little bit more than $110,000 to get that done. So, how about we fast forward in Porsche history? 1996, 911 Turbo is on the block now.
Yep, a late air-cooled 911 Turbo, 6-speed manual transmission, turbocharged 3.6-liter power plant. Interior appears to be original. To this day, the turbocharged Porsche 911 is an A-list driving experience. The sound and sensation, the handling, the brute acceleration.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, I know you have. It'll change your life.
Oh, dude, yeah. Let me tell you.
Sometimes you kind of feel like the tail's wagging the dog, though, you know what I mean? I got my first drive. Hey, I don't think I told you guys this. I got my first drive in a street 911. 911's another one of those things I've only ever raced, never had one on the street. But a friend of mine had one from, I think, early in the 2000s. And I got a chance to drive it. It was my first experience to catch up with you guys.
How'd you do? Did you set the of course you set the fastest time in qualifying.
No, actually the owner was sitting in the passenger seat beside me saying, careful of the yellow line, not too fast.
Yes.
You shifted too late.
You know, I had that exact same experience, and that happens because generally speaking, the owner is in the wrong seat. He's not used to sitting over there. 150, and the bid goes on that 96 air-cooled Porsche Turbo, 911 Turbo. All right, get ready because Grudge Racing is back. Watch the new season of Fastest Cars in the Dirty South coming up Wednesday, February 2nd at 10, 9 Central on MotorTrend TV. Also, catch up on last season's show now on MotorTrend Plus. Go to motortrend.com/Mecum. Here's a 1969 Camaro that has the potential to fall into that Pro Touring category. JK, what do you think?
I think it definitely does. Modern era LS power, Scott. 5-speed manual transmission. Lots of components up underneath that you can't see from the who's who of today's supplier of suspension components. Ride Tech, Willwood brakes, vintage air conditioning, Dakota digital gauges inside. Reserves off, we're at $160,000, and not a particularly common paint scheme for a Pro Touring build, but boy does it work.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes conservative is the best way to go. By the way, this was a Kendall Good Stuff pick this week.
Yes.
And see those wheels?
I do.
One-offs. Custom one-off wheels.
All right.
See those tires? That is a lot of rubber.
Yep. And that whole package just brought $175,000. As we take a break, we'll be back on MotorTrend TV in a few minutes.
$50,000 down 60. I am by reserve is off. How about it? 60 down on the bed. And 60 now negative 60, 60, 60. If I'm negative 70, I am by the negative 60, negative 60. If I'm negative 60, down on the bed 70. I am by the negative 65, 75. If I'm negative 75, and 70. I'm by the negative 75. I am 70 bands, $75,000. Anybody else? sold $70,000, sold $70,000, Ryan Brewer.
F-170, a 95 Mitsubishi Eclipse, buck car number 35 from the Universal Picture film, The Fast and the Furious. It features a 2-liter automatic and carbon fiber look.
You're on, 25, 30 to 30 to 35. You're 35, 40, 55, 50. You're 50, 50, 50, 60. You're 60, 55, 60. $5,000 bed. And 70, 60. Pound 70, 75. And pound 75, 80. $80,000 reserve off. 85, 80. Down 5. You're at 85 pounds and 85. 85, 95, 95, 95, and 95, 95 pounds and out of bed. Now 100, 95 now 1, 95 100,000 and 110, 110, 110, I'll stay 110, 105, 105 pounds and out of bed. 100, 5, 105, 110, 110, 105, 110. Okay, 107.5 now 110. 107.5 going to be 110. Negative 10 to bed. You're 10. Negative 110 going to be 10. Going to be 10. Going to be 10 to bed. 107.5. I got 7.5 going to be 10, Dan. 110. 110. Negative 10. Down 15. 115, Abby. 115. Negative 110. 15. 100 now done. I have 110 going to be 15. Last call. 15. Down 20. 120, then he back to 15, 20, 120, high about to 20 bid. 125, 35, 125, 130, then he back to 25, 30, and 130, then he back to 40, then he back 140, high about 140, then he back to 140 bid. I am 140 bid, then he back to 140, I am $140,000 bid, then he back to 140, 135, now 104, oh, just give 150, Abby. See if you get 150. Just give 150, 150, 150, then now negative 150. I am 150, then now negative 135, 150, 60, 145, 150, 150. Now you 145, 150. I have 145, going to be 150 down out of bed. I have 150, Dan. 145, $150,000. Here goes. 145, 150, 150, 150, 145, 150. Last call. 145, 150. Yes, no, maybe. 150, 145, 150. Here goes. How about $150,000? Anybody else? Yeah, you got to be 150. I already got 145. Got to be 150.
Well, let's look inside the State Farm booth there. Some folks in there just enjoying the scenery, waiting for the cars to pass by on their way out the building. It's time for our State Farm Moment of the Day. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and our Moment of the Day happened yesterday here in Kissimmee, when this gorgeous 1965 Buick Riviera Grand Sport came across the auction block. 360 horse, 425. That's a Super Wildcat engine. 3-speed automatic, but here's the deal. The reserve came off at $60,000. The car ended up selling for $150,000. Enough to bring the new owner out of his chair. And that is our State Farm Moment of the Day. They have great service at surprisingly great rates. Let's check in now with Chris Jacobs over in the staging line.
Thanks, Scott. Well, earlier we saw bidder badge #1 sell for an enormous amount of money, all going to the charity Curing Kids Cancer, and that put them past the $10 million mark being raised ever since they started their association with Mecum Auctions, and this will be the continuation of that charity. This is going across the block soon. 1932 Ford Hot Rod pickup, roadster shop chassis powered by a 347 automatic Beautiful steel construction, amazing paint job on this truck. And again, all of the proceeds will go to curing kids cancer and further the relationship between Mecum and that wonderful charity. So look out for this coming across very, very soon. Once again, 32 Ford hot rod pickup donated by MotorTrend. All the proceeds going to curing kids cancer. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jake, thanks very much. JK, you and I saw that truck just the other day and took a moment to really admire it. Well done truck, and can't wait to see it on the block.
Yep, also remember seeing it out at SEMA this year on display at the Mecum area at the big SEMA show. So looking forward to seeing it cross the block.
Well, here we go with the 1963 Corvette that happens to fall into that category of Grand Sport replica.
Well, I shared a little tidbit with Bill Stevens just a short time ago, and now I'm going to share it with everybody that's watching and listening. This is one of 12 custom Corvette Grand Sport replicas built by Mongoose Motorsports for use in the Universal Pictures film Fast 5. One of only 3 known to survive the filming process, one of 2 designated as jump cars. It's equipped and powered, drumroll, air-cooled, 4-cylinder Volkswagen engine. And it just sold for $90,000. Must be nice being a movie star, huh, guys?
Wow.
Well, sometimes you have to think outside the bun.
That's actually cool. And it brought how much? $90,000.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, a 1955 Nomad that we've already kind of gotten a sneak peek at from Bill a little while ago. A $200,000 current bid.
Yeah, it's going to take more than that, I'm afraid. This has been one of the custom showstoppers at this auction. That's an LS3, 525 horsepower out of 6.2 liters, 4-speed automatic overdrive. Art Morrison supplied much of the underpinnings. Willwood supplied the brakes. Vintage supplied the air conditioning. Full custom. Now I think we're getting close, $270,000. We may have a contender here. Colors Tangelo Pearl. And Chip Foose supplied those custom wheels wrapped in Nitto tires.
Well, forget about driving this car. I'd be afraid to get in the car. The interior is so perfect, I wouldn't want to bring any dirt and dust or anything in there.
Yeah, don't be eating your hot fudge sundae in there, okay?
Don't look at me. That's Steven.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That would be onion ring salt, okay?
All right, they're rolling that away as 1967 Cobra rolls into place.
Yep, not a replica here at all. This is a real deal. 1967 Ford Shelby 427 Cobra Roadster. Late production car, Bill. I'll give everybody the CSX number, 3281. Previously with Otis Chandler. It's a 427, but it left Shelby American with a 428. Not uncommon back in the day. It's a 4-speed, and it is restored to a very high standard. One of your and my both favorite cars of this auction.
And in the whole world. Yeah, early in the production run, the 427 street cars got side oilers, 427s, and then Shelby American realized how much money they could save by putting 428s in them, and customers would notice very little difference on the street. They were not being built to go racing. Now, this late in the production run, this car almost definitely would have had a 428 from the factory, and it's been retrofitted with a 427. But that does not in any way affect the value of a 427 Cobra, because I mean, if you take a look at any of the 427 Cobras that are still around today that are original Shelby cars, those cars were basically built with whatever would happen to be on the shelf that day.
Yeah.
So identical Cobras are hard to find.
Hey, you'd love my latest reading project, Shelby American Up Close. It was written by the photographer that Shelby hired when he was still working out
Dave
of LA. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I know Dave. He was there from day one.
Day one, yeah.
Yep.
What's the name of the book?
Shelby American Up Close. It's worth getting. I'm about a quarter of the way into it. Bill's actually ahead of me. I didn't know he read.
Uh-oh.
Million two. Million 250. High and by the Benny Mega do 2 and a high and bed. Million 2. Benny Mega do 250 down to Benny Mega do 2.
All right, $1,200,000. We're waiting to see if we can put something together on this spectacular Shelby Cobra.
Frank Mecum there with perhaps the consignor. Somebody on the telephone trying to work it out. Well, we're at 1.25. That's been a good number for 2 cars previous to this.
Million 250, million 3. High negative 3 to bed. 250. Now 3. Now 3. Million 3. Million 3. Million 250, 1 million 3.
Sunburst, knock off wheels, give it that correct look, Bill.
Yeah, and they were actually hard to find when these Cobras were being built. For a while there, they were putting different wheels on them because there was a snag in getting these Sunburst wheels to the factory. So, you know, it's nice to see them on this car because they are correct. And that is a wide-hipped car that we've talked about. Look at how exaggerated those rear fenders are.
1,275.
Well, 1.275. Now, you got a feeling here, JK?
But yes.
Optimistic.
I only have $1,325,000 total. I'll net you
275, not 3, million 3. High by the negative 3 to bed. 275, not 3. High by the negative 3, 3, 3, 3 million 3. 275, not 3. High by the negative million 3.
I love the extra time that we are spending with taking some time to put this deal together because it just gives us some additional images.
Yes.
Why is Don being so hard on this one?
$1,350,000 total. You own it. $1,350,000 and you own it.
Is that the Mecum rule? Wow. The reserve is off.
1,350,000 around the room will go.
$1.3 million. They're looking around to see if anybody else wants to get in. The answer is no. There it is, hammering $1.3 million for that 427 Cobra.
Wow, that is so cool. By the way, we had $1 million Cobra on the block. I didn't want to get into it. Would you tell Shemp that I know how to read?
We need to take a quick timeout. More coming up from Kissimmee.
$100,000 out of bed, 110, 110, 110, 100 to bed, 110. I'm about to be 10, 20, then I'm going to do 20. I'm about 110, going to be 120, then I'm going to do 10, 20, 110, 120, then I'm going to do 10, 20, 110, then I'm going to do 120,000, 110, 120 bed. I'm about 120, 30, going to be 30, 130. I'm about to do 20, 30, 120, going to be 30, 120, then I'm going to do 130,000 out of bed. Anybody else? 120, 130, what a car. 120, 130. Last call. 120, going to be 130. And 120, back to 130. The close bid, $120,000 bid goes on at 120.
F-173, a 62 Corvette Big Brake Fuelie, NCRS Top Flight Award in 2014, one of only 246 option with the very rare RPO 687 race package. It features matching numbers, fuel injected 327, and a T10 4-speed, body off restored and to show condition.
You're live, 150 bid, 80, 90, 80 bid, 90, 90, 90, 100, 100, again, 100, 110. I have 120. I'm by the 10, 20, 110, 120, 110, 20, 110, 120. I have 110, going to be 20 to 20, 110, 120, 130, 130. I'm by the 120, going to be 30, 120, 130. 130, going to be 30, going to be 30. I have 120, 130,000 out of bed. 120, 130, going to be 30, 120, 30. I have 125, negative 5, 125, 120, 125, 125, 120, 125,000 out of bed. 120's bid, 125, all done. 125, negative 5, 125, 100 down 30, sir. Now 130, 125, 130, 125, 130, negative 30, 125, 130, negative 30, 125, 30, here she goes, 130. Close bid, 125,000 out of it. Bid goes on at 125.
F-174, 1964 Thunderbolt. Delivered to Ford drag racer Phil Bonner, new. Built for NHRA Superstock Drag Racing. This is VIN number 53 of 164 delivered. It features a 427 high-rise V8.
You buy the negative on a fair high by the negative 400, 300,000 on a bed. And 3 high by the negative 3 to negative 200. I got 200, the negative 2 to negative 100,000 on a bed. 125, 125, high negative 50, the negative 150. I have 150, 75, high negative 100, high 175 a bed. 150, 175, high negative 100, high 75 a bed. I have 150, 175, high negative 1 high 175, high negative 150 bed, negative 175 a bed. I have 150, 175, higher negative 150, 175, higher negative, now 2, now 2, 1 out 2, 175.
Welcome back to our live coverage today from Kissimmee on MotorTrend, the exclusive home of Mecum auctions. Don't forget, more coming up tomorrow as we have another massive 6-hour block set up for you. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, here on MotorTrend. Right now, let's check in with Katie Osborne.
My Star Car is all about. But if you're just joining us, My Star Car, here's the breakdown. Basically, you pick a car that means something to you, that you think is exciting or just downright cool. Well, with CJ being new to our crew, I thought, why not have a little inauguration or some sort of initiation, if you will, and have you pick your star car today. What is it?
I have indeed, and first of all, I appreciate it. Thank you for the welcome to the team. Now, if the Bullet is the most famous movie Mustang, then this is the most famous racing Mustang. This is the 1965 GT350R. This is the one that Ken Miles won the inaugural race in Texas with, and it earned its nickname, the Flying Mustang, by getting all 4 wheels off of the ground. And of course, that moment was memorialized in Car and Driver magazine. What an unbelievable machine. And yes, this is my star car.
We'd like to hear. Chris, thank you for the first time. There'll be many more for you to come. Scott, JK, what do we have from our community?
Well, guys, we can start out with a little VW here, 1972 Beetle.
Great story here. Photo provided by part of our TV crew, our ace highlight feature editor, Kristen Smith. It's a picture of her mom and brother back in the day. How cool is that?
Oh, nice. With the cool livery, huh? That is pretty cool. No pun intended. And then this is an 08 Honda, JK. This is a little screamer, isn't it?
Screamer indeed, the S2000, and it's second to the last year, Scott. The 2.2 4-cylinder puts out 237 horsepower. It's a 6-speed manual. Rocket Man's got good taste in 2-seater sports cars, that's for sure.
Oh, yes. No kidding. And thanks to everybody for sending those photographs in. Hashtag MyStarCar. Well, this could be somebody's star car. It's a 1965 Malibu Super Sport. The reserve is off, and we're in excess of $100,000 and going to hammer at 110.
Well, this is a real super sport, but of course it wasn't built with a 396 back in 1965, but it has had one added, including the fender flags. It's a 4-speed, factory air conditioning, high quality rotisserie restoration, brought the money for sure.
Here is a 1969 Camaro. This is a Rally Sport RSZ 28 as we're not far away from another one of our big collections here in Kissimmee, the Thomas collection, the Gary Thomas collection, coming up fairly shortly, and you will not want to miss that one. We're at 130 on this Z28.
Yeah, this is a big car. Another great Z28 with that Rally Sport package on top of that. Le Mans blue with the blue interior. Console. Factory gauges in that console. That was optional. 373 gears in the big 12-bolt rear end. No cowl induction hood, but it's got, of course, the Z28 stripes. Standard rally wheels. No heater. It was originally sold brand new over to Hawaii. The mild climate is, don't need the heater. And it just sold for $150,000, Stephen.
You know, 4 or 5 days ago in the evenings here in Florida, you may have missed that.
It's a little chilly.
It got pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, here is an important car that's been resto modded, a street machine here, JK, custom